Part A of our problem asks us whether the distance between any two different real numbers will always be positive. And up at the top here, I have written out the distance formula for two numbers on a number line that's given in the book. So when we see this formula, we immediately notice that the two numbers, b and a, which are different numbers, have an absolute value sign around them. And we talked about absolute value as the distance between two numbers on a number line. So say here's our 0, and we had the number 5 and the number -3. So the absolute value of these two numbers, which is the same thing as saying the absolute value of b minus a, is going to be 1, 2, 3, so 3 on this side, plus our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. So the left is the distance from -3 to 0, and the right is the distance from 0 to 5. So our two distances are 3 and 5, so we'll add these together, and we get 8. So when we find the absolute value of any two different real numbers, it's always going to be positive. So our answer to A is yes. And part B asks whether the distance between A and B is the same as the distance between B and A, which I have written out in this way because we can plug it into our formula up here a little bit easier. So our first one can be written as the absolute value of b minus a, which is exactly what was written up here in the formula. And our second distance can be written as the absolute value of a minus b, which is simply the reverse of what was written in the formula because the order of our two numbers is reversed. So we can test this by plugging in a couple of numbers. So say we had b equals 3 and a equals -7. So we can plug it into the first formula, b minus a, so we get the absolute value of 3 minus -7, which is equal to the absolute value of 3 plus 7 when we distribute our negative here, which is equal to the absolute value right over here of 10, which equals 10. And then on the left side of our equation, we'll plug in our numbers again. So a minus b, this time we'll have -7 minus 3. So when we subtract these inside our absolute value sign, we get the absolute value of -10, which when we have the absolute value of one number alone, all we do is make the number positive. So this equals 10. So we can see that our values from our left side and our right side, which is asking for the distance from A to B and the distance from B to A, are equal to each other. So once again, yes, the distance between A and B is the same as the distance between B and A.